Hi guys, Arik is here, your Russian coach. Welcome to the next lesson of Advanced Russian, dedicated to the people who want to speak Russian fluently and function in the Russian-speaking environment. We are working now on this article. Here we take real articles, non-adapted, just real Russian, real modern Russian. And it's called Mnemonica для иностранных языков. Что реально помогает? So mnemonics for foreign languages. What really helps? So first, I'm gonna show you where we stopped the last time. And after that, I'm going to remind you what we have read so far. So last time we ended with this sentence. На сегодня теории достаточно. Переходим к практике. So for today, it is enough theory. We are moving to the practice. So today we are going to start with this title. Визуализация и ассоциации для запоминания слов. So that's easy because that's like in English. Visualization and association for remembering words. Right? But what we have read so far, basically we said that with mnemonics you can remember things much better. And then they just listed few basic methods of mnemonics, of creating mnemonics, which is associations, visualization, etc. So you can just, but that's what you missed if you didn't attend our previous lessons, so you can complete the material. But for now, just remain here because you will get everything. Do not worry about that. So first, let's read this first paragraph. So again, визуализация и ассоциации для запоминания слов. And by the way, if you don't have this material printed, you have a link below the video. But if you want to remain here in this online school, please make sure it is printed. At least that's my advice. It's going to be more effective, and you will see why in a moment. So visualization and associations, just notice that that's plural, ассоциации, associations for remembering words. So let's start. Визуализация и ассоциации – это основные способы, как выучить слова быстро, если слова очень сложные. Okay, so основные comes from основной, and it means fundamental. Основа means foundation. So основные, fundamental. Выучить, learn or memorize. Сложное, complicated. So what do they say? Визуализация и ассоциации – это основные способы, как выучить слова быстро, если слова очень сложные. So visualization and associations, those are the fundamental methods. Способы means methods, by the way. How to learn or to memorize words fast if the words are very complicated. So again, визуализация и ассоциации – это основные способы, как выучить слова быстро, если слова очень сложные. Visualization and associations, those are fundamental methods. How to memorize the words fast if the words are very complicated. Мы решили воспользоваться возможностями искусственного интеллекта и его способностью мгновенно обрабатывать огромные массивы цифровых данных и попросили чат GPT найти максимально сложные английские слова. Let's go over the vocabulary. Воспользоваться means to use, or, even more precise, to take advantage of. Возможностями comes from возможности, which is abilities. Искусственного интеллекта comes from искусственный интеллект. Искусственный means artificial. Intellect means intelligence, so that's AI for you. Искусственный интеллект. И его способностью So sposobность means ability. Его here relates to the AI. Therefore, we will translate that as its, its, without the apostrophe. It's like his, her, but that's not a person, so that's its. In Russian, you don't really have its. You only have его for masculine and neutral, and you have ее for feminine, so his and her. But in English, we have its. So его способностью means its ability, and it relates to the AI. Мгновенно means immediately. So please underline, write it above. Мгновенно, immediately or in a moment. Because it comes from мгновение, which is an instant. So мгновенно basically means in an instant. Обрабатывать, to process. Yeah, so обрабатывать, to process. Огромные массивы, so огромные, giant. Массивы, okay, of course it reminds you the word massive, but массивы in Russian, that's a noun. So массив in Russian, in this context, mean just chunk of information. Chunk of information. So огромные массивы would be giant chunks of information. Цифровых данных. Цифровых comes from цифра, digit. So цифровых means digital. Данных comes from данные, which is data. Therefore, мгновенно обрабатывать огромные массивы цифровых данных is going to be to process, обрабатывать, to process in an instant giant chunks of digital data. You will get it even better now when we translate this whole sentence. Попросили means asked, you probably know that. Максимально сложные английские слова. So сложные, I'm reminding you that's complicated. Максимально сложные means like extremely. Максимально, I would translate that as extremely in English. Extremely complicated, or the most, basically. The most complicated английские слова, English words. Now, please see how it all works together here. Мы решили воспользоваться возможностями искусственного интеллекта и его способностью мгновенно обрабатывать огромные массивы цифровых данных. И попросили чат GPT найти максимально сложные английские слова. We decided to take advantage of the abilities of AI and its ability in an instant to process giant chunks of information of digital data and asked ChatGPT to find the most difficult English words. Perfect. Well done, guys, for your comprehension, and that's C1, C2 level Russian for you. You see, you're making it. And then they continue. И объяснить, как их можно выучить, используя популярные мнемотехники. So they continue here this train of thought of we asked ChatGPT to do something. They could have also combined it in one sentence, but they decided it's not common to start the sentence in Russian with E, but it is possible. So, and to explain how it is possible to выучить to learn, right? And их relates to those, to slova, to the words. So, and explain how them, meaning the words, how them, it is possible to learn. Используя means using popular mnemotechniques. So techniques of mnemonics. Yeah, so you got it, right? So they asked to find those words, very, very complicated, and to explain how it's possible to learn them using popular techniques of mnemonics. And that's what, and that's the prompt that they put into ChatGPT. Here in this, with these little small letters, yeah? Найди 10 максимально сложных слов в английском языке и объясни, как их запомнить с помощью ассоциаций в русском языке. So find 10 maximum difficult or completely like the most difficult words in English language, язык means language, и объясни and explain, как их запомнить, how them to memorize, in English, how to memorize them, с помощью ассоциаций, with the help of associations, в русском языке, in the Russian language. And then ChatGPT says, отлично, perfect. Вот 10 реально сложных английских слов. И как русскоязычному человеку легко их запомнить с помощью ассоциаций на русском, простых, ярких и смешных, чтобы мозг зацепился. So, вот means here are 10 really complicated English words and how русскоязычному человеку. Yeah, so человек means person. Русскоязычному means with Russian speaking. And how a Russian speaking person легко, easily, их запомнить, them remember. So if we want to make it into more normal English, and how to remember them easy for a Russian speaking person. С помощью, so we had it with the help of, ассоциаций на русском, so associations in Russian. Простых means simple, простой, да, простые, simple. Ярких, bright, so something that is яркий, also the light, yeah, яркий свет, that would be bright light, so ярких means bright. And, but here it just means like vivid, you know. И смешных, and funny. Чтобы мозг зацепился. So, чтобы means in order for, or in order to. Mozg, brain. And зацепился comes from зацепиться, which means to stick to it. So, that's зацепился. So, for example, if someone says, я шел по улице и зацепился за гвоздь. It means I was walking on the street and I got caught by a nail. Yeah? Зацепился за гвоздь. So зацепиться basically means to get caught by something, to get grabbed by something. So, вот 10 реально сложных английских слов, и как русскоязычному человеку легко их запомнить с помощью ассоциаций на русском, простых, ярких и смешных, чтобы мозг зацепился. So here are 10 really complicated English words, and how for a Russian-speaking person to remember them with ease, with the help of associations in Russian. Simple, vivid, and funny, in order for the brain to get caught. Okay, so let's see what kind of English words it found, and what kind of associations that's it offered. So the first one is serendipity. Serendipity, and in Russian that's translated as счастливая случайность. Now, случайность means... so случайность means coincidence. That's случайность. And счастливая means lucky. Comes from счастье, which is basically happiness, but in English that would be lucky. Счастливая. Счастливая случайность would be a lucky coincidence. And then ассоциация, associations. Сэр Энди пил чай. So, сэр Энди пил чай и вдруг нашел вдохновение. So, Sir Andy, Sir means sir, Sir Andy drank tea, that's clear. И вдруг, suddenly, нашел, found. Вдохновение means inspiration. Suddenly found inspiration. So they connect the first part with how the word sounds. And then the second part, some kind of an association with the meaning. So счастливая случайность, a lucky coincidence, but he kind of suddenly found his inspiration. So it is supposed to help us to remember the meaning. But вдохновение, that's a good word, inspiration. So Sir Andy пил чай, и вдруг нашел вдохновение. Sir Andy drank tea, and suddenly found inspiration. Образ. Образ means image. Представь англичанина по имени Сэр Энди, который случайно сделал великое открытие, пока пил чай. So, представь means imagine. Англичанина comes from англичанин, which is an Englishman. По имени, by the name, such and such, который случайно, by accident, случайно, сделал великое открытие. So he did, великое means great. Not like the weather is great now. It's not like very good. It means very big, like great. Открытие means discovery. And пока here, it's not пока-пока, that's a while. So пока пил чай means while he drank tea, while drinking tea. So now, please see how it all works together. Образ. Представь англичанина по имени Сэр Энди, который случайно сделал великое открытие, пока пил чай. So, the image. Imagine an Englishman named Sir Andy, who, by accident, made a great discovery while drinking tea. I think it's very interesting. Okay, let's go to the next word. Discombobulated. That's the word. And the meaning, в замешательстве, растерянный. So, растерянный means confused. В замешательстве means in confusion, because замешательство means confusion, and like inability, basically inability to decide or to do something. That's замешательство. And растерянный, that's pretty much the same, confused. So, ассоциация, association. Диско, Бобик, улетел. Вот и растерялся. Диско, Бобик, улетел. Discombobulated. Вот и растерялся. Вот и means so. Вот и. What it acts here as one expression. Вот и, so. Растерялся, got confused. So, диско, Бобик, улетел. Disco means like disco. Bobik, that's a common name for a dog. So, in Russian, when you say Bobik, the association is that it's a little dog. And улетел means flew away. So, диско, like Bobik, little dog, flew away. So, вот и растерялся, so got confused. So that is the association. And then образ, the image. На дискотеке собачка Бобик улетела в небо с шарами. Все в шоке и замешательстве. So, улетела в небо с шарами. Шарами comes from шары, which is balloons. And so, все в шоке, everyone is in shock. И замешательстве. So, you remember, замешательство was confusion. So, the image. На дискотеке собачка Бобик улетела в небо с шарами. So, on the disco, at the disco, the dog, little dog, yeah, собачка, little dog Bobik, flew away, в небо, into the sky, with balloons. Все в шоке, все means everyone, obviously, everyone is in shock, и замешательство, and confusion. Okay, guys, so let's stop here. We've advanced really well, and well done for your persistence. Now, I'm just going to read this whole part that we have just learned. And I'm going to put the link just to my reading without interruption below this video in the description box. So you can listen to it repetitively. But for now, just test your comprehension, and you will probably surprise yourself big time. Look. Визуализация и ассоциации для запоминания слов. Визуализация и ассоциации – это основные способы, как выучить слова быстро, если слова очень сложные. Мы решили воспользоваться возможностями искусственного интеллекта и его способностью мгновенно обрабатывать огромные массивы цифровых данных. И попросили чат GPT найти максимально сложные английские слова и объяснить, как их можно выучить, используя популярные мнемотехники. Найди 10 максимально сложных слов в английском языке и объясни, как их запомнить с помощью ассоциаций в русском языке. Отлично! Вот 10 реально сложных английских слов. И как русскоязычному человеку легко их запомнить с помощью ассоциаций на русском, простых, ярких и смешных, чтобы мозг зацепился. Serendipity – счастливая случайность. Ассоциация. Сэр Энди пил чай и вдруг нашел вдохновение. Образ. Представь англичанина по имени сэр Энди, который случайно сделал великое открытие, пока пил чай. Discombobulated. В замешательстве, растерянный. Ассоциация. Диско Бобик улетел. Вот и растерялся. Образ. На дискотеке собачка Бобик улетела в небо с шарами. Все в шоке и замешательстве. Okay, guys, so thank you so much. We'll see each other at the next lesson. And if you need my help with your Russian, if you really want to advance well and get to the point where you can really act at the level of C1, C2, like really function in the Russian-speaking environment, you'll probably have to do lots of repetitive listening of certain materials at your level for now. Just contact me with the email below. We will have our Zoom meeting. The first meeting is for free, no obligation on your part. And I'll recommend certain materials for you regarding your repetitive listening. And I can also assess your progress in general and what you can do to advance better. So thank you so much, and we'll see each other at the next lesson. Ciao, ciao.